Guess who's coming to dinner tonight? Guess who's coming to dinner tonight? All you wanna do is have a good time, good time. All you wanna do is have a good time, good time. Oh, heaven, let me to space, heaven, let me to space, heaven. All you wanna do is have a good time. Get some friends over and have a glass of wine. Oh, heaven, heaven.
With MakingStarWars.net.
Hey everybody, I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and gotta say, I just finished the episode, and man, that was pretty dark, pretty interesting, pretty dark. I was pretty happy with it. I mean, I always like it. I always like the show. I was kind of cracking up. Old Toby Haynes Herway, as we call him around here, was reportedly not exactly the first pick to direct some of the stuff because he was a Star Wars fan, and then said, "Hey, I could do this without being a Star Wars fan." But you guys noticed that shot from Empire, when Han's getting tortured, and it kind of cuts down to the Vader feet and flips up. Yeah, they copied it. It was that was there was your like throwback, if you will. But really good episode though. Super big bummer. That guy from Batman '89. I can't believe it. He couldn't make it. He was so close. But it was I was pretty convinced that he had, like, someone was going to die in that episode and it wasn't going to be the old guy. But hey,
Hey, what's up?
how's it going, Jiggity James?
It's going.
How are you, man? Did you
Good.
miss the episode?
Yeah, honestly, not my favorite episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just feel like it didn't move the story along far enough in a single episode of this one.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole thing with Cyril Karn confronting Daedra.
That was weird. That was maybe the weirdest part in the whole series so far.
Yeah, so I don't know what the hell that's about. So that alone was like,
Well,
okay,
I mean,
so no.
we like to, we like to be idiots and make low-hanging fruit jokes all the time, but this time I'm not. This time, I mean, there was sort of a sadomasochistic undertone to the whole episode between the fascists. There was definitely their sadist, and I mean, there's just no two ways around it. I mean, they're giddy about the torturer guy and what he can do, and Daedra is basking in the glory of being able to do it herself, but then she's really happy when she gets to pass it. Like, they're fucking weird, man.
So you weren't excited at all by seeing Bix strapped to a chair?
Well, why are you asking me? Why are you asking me shit you know the answer to? No.
For those playing along at home.
Yeah, I was like, You know when they're having a good time though, and Bix wasn't having a good time. Bix wasn't there for it.
No. Yeah.
Mm, no, but I mean, like with this show, I mean, I'm gonna be devil's advocate on it because I think it's earned it. Every single one of
Mhm.
these, every episode leads to something worthwhile every time. So I mean that's the way I've looked at it. Like the we start some shows. You could ask me what changed,
Mhm.
and I could be like, well, he's closer to respect, James. Now he's closer to respect. But I mean, we start with Gollum, Snoke Gollum Extreme. What's his name? I don't remember his name. Like
Kino.
Taco, Kino,
Yeah.
Kino. Yeah, we start off with Kino, and he's like, "Don't ask me anything. Shut the fuck up. I'm turning over on my side. They
Mhm.
might be listening. No one's listening. I might be listening. Shut the fuck up." And by the end, he's like, "Oh, there's 12 guards."
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's a story unto itself from A to Z about how the guy goes from counting down everybody's time to getting out. He knows the old fellers got 40 shifts left, and then he hears, this is we just and we go back, and then we're just gonna do that, and
Right.
so there was a Bestman Bulletin had a story today about how basically that was going to happen, about how we were going to get down to him sort of staging the riot. And yeah, I mean, that's a character, like I said, that's
Yeah.
gone from being completely the whipping boy, a yes man, to okay, here we go.
Yeah.
And so I'm more excited for the next episode than I was for this one. So that's why I am calling it, for me, a
Mhm.
successful episode, because now I want to see what they're gonna do.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just me but like the slow burn was getting to me this episode.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
at
Sometimes
this point, I
at
kind of felt like, yeah.
what time is it where you're at too?
Well, yeah, it is like almost 3 in the morning here.
Yeah,
So,
that
but
fucks with you a little bit. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
this isn't the first episode like that.
no,
But I think part of it is just like that prison's not it's not a
it's
very
not fun.
dynamic. Yeah, it's not fun, and it's just it's one little claustrophobic room, and it's like okay, let's and yeah, I even said that last week when we did the show that I was like, they can't be doing like X number of episodes just them building shit in a prison because it's going to be boring as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And it was starting to get boring as hell with them.
You were
Okay,
getting bored.
they're on the assembly line. It's like okay, I mean, there's stuff happening. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it's filler
Yeah.
or stuff like that. But just and it's again, it's probably just me. It was just the slow pace was starting to wear on me at this point. I was like,
Hmm.
and and I'm sure next week's gonna pay off because obviously that's gonna be the prison break. And I mean it was. There was a lot of build up. The ASP's getting closer to Luthen. They got they kind of hinted at like his mom, Cassian's mom's under watch. They got Bix in prison. So I mean they're setting up the dominoes. They're setting all the setting the board for the next episode. And they've done that very well. But
Yeah.
yeah. So it's just me. The pacing just got to me a little bit.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
you look at how it's gonna sit on, like I was talking about this, on the shelves,
Hmm.
like the show, all 12 parts will just be there on Disney Plus, and you can watch it however you want.
Yeah.
It's like we are pretty much taking all 3 parts of this, like, 1 week at a time. And so I think when we watch it all together, it's gonna be like watching a little Shawshank Redemption kind of thing. And
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna get that dopamine hit of the riot, I
Yeah.
assume. I hope.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope I can call it a dopamine hit. I hope it's
Yeah.
like exciting when they finally start fucking shit up.
Yeah. Well, and as much as I do love this show and I think it's fantastic, the rewatch value I don't think is tremendous on it. Just because
Mhm.
there's not a lot of I mean, I think what comes with a lot of the rewatch value, and actually, and Lucas himself had stated this with like the prequels, is that you don't show anything on screen long enough for you to really get a grasp of the full picture. So
Yeah.
you kind of on rewatching, you can go back and kind of see all the stuff in the background, all the little things that are happening.
Yeah.
So there's rewatch value in it. There's not a whole lot of stuff that like I'm like, oh, there's this cool stuff in the background. There's not a lot of eye candy there. There's not a lot of stuff that like, it's like, oh, I want to see more of this, or what was that over there?
Star Wars is like the whole fucking thing is predicated upon the Kuleshov effect, where it's
Mhm.
like, oh, this blank canvas means something to so many different people in the context and what you're paying attention to. Paints, yeah, this is more deliberate, and
Yeah.
so it's like, but but I will say, like Game of Thrones or something like that, it's one of those things where when you step away from it for a while, you go like, "Oh, it's pretty epic. It's pretty
Mhm.
big. It's a lot there." Then you
Yeah.
start going, "Oh, I kind of forgot," and then you want to like try to get it, and then you end up watching the whole thing because it's good.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that like this show will be like that. That will be its different. Its nature is different than the other Star Wars that we've had.
Oh, huge. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Totally
like
agree.
in that way, and for if season two, if the end of this sucks or season two sucks, then it's going to completely like the slower parts don't, they if it doesn't pay off into anything, then it all becomes terrible. I
Yeah.
don't believe that's going to be the case here. In fact, I would probably bet on this being the most solid thing that they're probably going to do for a while.
Ever.
It's gonna maybe ever, maybe in our lifetime.
Well,
No.
and we've talked a lot, or you've talked a lot, I should say, about the engagement on the show and the ratings and stuff like that. And yeah, I just don't know if the engagement's going to be that high on this. And I know I've brought this up before, like with Pixar and the movie Up, which I think
Mhm,
everybody would agree was a phenomenal movie, but
mhm.
nobody's trying to make. It's not like Cars where they're trying to milk it to death because there's nothing to milk.
Yeah.
There's no there. It's a
Mhm.
great movie, but in terms of the way Disney looks at marketing and what's going to make them money, there's nothing there for them, and
Yeah.
that's unfortunate. That I think this show kind of falls in that category where like I don't see like the Black Series figures for
Mm.
Cassian Andor just flying off the shelf because it's not a dude in a cool Mandalorian suit,
Yeah.
or a guy holding a lightsaber. There's just not that kind of draw and appeal to this show. Because I know even people like that I know that weren't a fan of the prequels, they'll collect like all the Jedi and all the clone troopers and all that stuff because they're cool. So
Mhm.
they might not like the prequels, but they think all this other shit's cool. And I think Star Wars, a lot of Star Wars gets by on just having that, you know, cult factor. Now I'll take this over Boba Fett because I think Boba Fett
Mhm.
had a lot more of that in there.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah, it's horseshit shit still.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I almost think like how like we don't really have that many great bands that are very dynamic these days, but you
Mm,
know how like you'll have like, oh, they made an art rock record. Everybody's like, yeah, I don't know about that one, and then there's like, well, kind of respect them for it. This is
yeah.
kind of the art rock record of Star Wars, and
Hmm.
it's what's going to make them go, you know what, though, we can respect their endeavors, maybe higher brow than the low brow shit we just got. Like this is going to keep us guessing. And so I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of I think this one, whether it makes them a bunch of money or not, psychologically is pretty fucking good about the head fuck it's doing to the fandom in general. Like
Yeah. Right.
Acolyte right now, they haven't really filmed. They filmed like a week. Is
Hmm.
Acolyte going to be more like this, or is it going to be like fucking Mando or Boba Fett? It's going to be something entirely different, I'm sure. But that's where you end up kind of, you don't really know until they sort of give you some sort of indication of
Yeah.
what it's going to be, and that's a positive thing though, because if everything was Mandalorian for me, I love Mandalorian, but I
Hmm.
would start going, okay, yeah, I'll get to it,
Yeah.
as opposed to like I want to experience it like as
Yeah.
that's what it would eventually become, and
Well, the unfortunate thing, I think, because obviously it's good that they take something away from Andor and what worked with that, and they move forward on projects with that. But I think one of the things that made Star Wars special before is that Lucas didn't give a shit about any of that stuff. by and large. I mean, there's some stuff that obviously even he said he curtailed some of the stuff in the prequels after the backlash and midichlorians and stuff like that.
Jar
So
Jar.
he wasn't completely tone deaf to that stuff. But
Yeah.
if all you do is the typical Hollywood, oh, Titanic was a huge success, so let's make Pearl Harbor because it's a historic piece with the romance and it's gonna be 3 hours long and it's gonna have cool special effects. And it's gonna be just like Titanic, and Titanic was successful, so let's just keep doing that same shit.
It
And
has shit in the title.
yeah, and so
Hi, Max.
what's up, Max?
Hi.
You
So
look
Max,
sleepy.
Yeah.
are you a sleepy Max?
No.
Okay. Did you laugh when the old guy died?
I didn't feel bad.
You monster! I had a little tear in my eye. You monster! I'm kidding, Max. I'm kidding. What'd you think, Max?
It was good. I thought that there was too much of the prison scene, like them. Any, I
Being
think that
all
could have been
oppressed.
shortened.
No, I'm kidding.
Huh?
You're all with them being like all oppressed and crying about we're eating out of we get to eat out of plate, we're eating out of tubes. Yeah, I know.
It was too
like-
long.
It's like send a letter to your mom. We don't want to hear it.
Yeah, it was too
Right.
long.
No, I'm kidding.
I think it could have been condensed to like a few scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. Cousin Mothma. She has a cousin. So it was the cousin. We speculated early on that she might be the daughter. Then we got to meet that little fucking monster. And then as time went on, we're like, oh, maybe she's the other daughter. No, she's the fucking cousin. Tony Gilroy, what will you think of next?
She's a lesbian cousin. Everyone.
Lesbian. Yeah, that was so fucking Perrin. Does Perrin just not can Perrin just not tell somebody who
being an
likes a
asshole.
scissor from somebody who doesn't, or is he being a fucking turd?
He's being
He's been a fucking turd.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I figured, but I wasn't sure because Perrin, you don't know what he might be freebasing right then. You don't know where he's at.
Perineum.
I mean, he's the thing in between the asshole and the balls. That's the thing. That's the thing about Perrin. That's the Star Wars version of it. So you don't know if he's being an asshole or if he's being the balls. So
That's his middle name, Taint. Taint.
Yeah. In college, they called him the Gooch. So yeah. But her retort of all the good ones are taken was pretty good. And I think they fucking kind of confirmed that Mon Mothma's going to probably be doing the old book on Tay's lap with the HJ on the side when nobody's looking because she's into it. She's
Can't
into
really
it.
blame her. Yeah.
And once again, we got that weird subtle thing of people getting turned on by their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was telling Tay a few weeks ago, she was getting into it. She's like, I'm a bad girl. You don't know how bad of a girl I am. Tay.
He's like,
Tay's like, I'm a bad boy. You don't know my politics. And they were doing that whole thing. Remember that? And then but they were kind of, they were playing with that flirtation or whatever. But fucking $400,000, Mom Mothma, what are you doing, lady? So it sounds like they're bringing in a fixer who's like a mob guy, huh?
Yeah. Well, it sounds like they're going into that, hey, in order to make this work, you're going to have to deal with some rather unpleasant people.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they work that.
Yeah, we God, there was something like some Lego set or something that had Skolden in it. And then we had something about, I think Bespin Bulletin had something about Skolden's wife. And we thought there might be kind of a maybe a funeral coming. That was a rumor for a guy named Skolden. So we'll have to see. Sounds like people are pretty sad. We thought Skolden was the king of a planet or something during filming, but he must be a very well respected person or something. In terms of when I say respected, I mean the Godfather. Maybe I don't know.
Well, it sounds like they're making him out to be like some kind of like Donald Trump-esque kind of guy with the deep pockets. That's a morally shady character.
Yeah,
Someone that she obviously doesn't want to deal with, has no respect for, but has the money and the resources to bail her ass out.
yeah.
So
Every week we always jump back to. I don't believe the promise of Star Wars Underworld, the TV show that George Lucas was going to make, was going to be this show at all. But the promise was it was this. But this is actually going back to that premise, to the concept of that premise again. I don't know if Gilroy even knows this,
yeah,
but I'm sure he does. But I don't know if he knows it. But that was the thing, is we were supposed to see
yeah,
exactly how the underworld ties into the black markets created by imperialism, and then how that funds rebellion, and how that thing is a cyclical,
yeah.
kind of like what DJ says in Last Jedi.
Hmm.
But we're seeing it here. That we got this guy who's in here, and he's gonna help bring that money around. So now she is, at least she is legally a criminal, beyond being a rebel. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
contextualize, it's the right thing to do, but
Well, I think if Lucas had done this, it would have been the same concept, but it would have been executed very
yeah.
differently. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I mean, you did have like force users and shit running around, even that little test pilot thing that they did.
yeah.
So that alone just
Well,
sets
no,
it
I
apart.
mean, I had a story about the guy from Dinotopia was going to be a Jedi Padawan during Order 66,
Hmm.
who just stays in undercover in 1313 and doesn't leave.
Hmm.
It was going to be a character who was going to be in there who was like, I used to be a Jedi. Don't tell anybody. And that
Hmm.
was going to be so. God, you know what I was afraid of when I was watching this episode?
What?
When Cyril Karn is like fucking telling, confessing his love to a Dedra.
Yeah.
I was afraid they were going to do that fucking Office cut, in The Office, where they go, "No, I don't like you," and then they cut, and then they go, they smile. They're like, I was like, "Fucking don't do it." They didn't do it, but I was really afraid they were going to do that thing, and they always do it with like April in
Mhm.
not Community, Parks and Rec.
Yep.
And yeah, they would.
Mhm.
I was like so afraid they were going to do that. I was like, please don't fucking do it. And then they didn't do it. Thank God.
She's
But
like, "Are you stalking me?"
yeah, she went full on fucking Twitter weirdo right there, didn't she?
Yeah.
She
And
was.
he
Well,
seemed creepy.
he was
Oh,
stalking
he is.
her.
No, he is creepy.
Fucking lunatic.
Cereal.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, they're both fucking mad. They're fucking nuts. Like both of them.
She's mad in a controlled way, though. He's mad in a fucking loose cannon
Yeah.
way. It's like,
Oh yeah, but they're gonna be married next episode. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, I don't know. He's not enough man for her. I mean, come on. He's gonna slap her. Yeah, she's gonna slap his ass around. Fucking Christ.
Oh yeah, no, he wants that.
Mm.
He wants that.
Yeah, clearly.
No, he's down.
He's got
for
some
it.
mommy issues.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, scary.
But also he's got some rage against that mommy, and so it might go both ways. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I think Cyril's a switch. Just throwing it out there. I don't think he's. I think he kind of can do both. I think he's a very versatile man. He likes his cereal in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no. He lied to his mom though. He didn't get a promotion. Correct. I'm reading this right. He didn't get a promotion. He's
No, he
just
got
No,
it.
he
being
did.
weird.
He did get a
Oh, he
promotion.
did. Oh, yeah, he did get one. He did get because he
Mhm.
thanks her for it. Never mind.
Mhm.
Sorry. Yeah, when I was watching it, when he first got there, I was like, did he get one or is he just doing extra shit? So he did get it. And then yeah, she denied.
I'm just waiting for her to like bust out with the bounty, paper towels.
Yeah,
to clean up his
Edie Karn.
filth. Yeah. Is that her name?
Yeah,
It'd be
Yeah.
great product placement. Should
yeah.
Lucasfilm had known this time.
I call her Edie Munster. That's what I call her.
Yeah, I was gonna say Wolfie from Monsters kind of has the same hairstyle. too.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a
Yeah.
Edie Munster.
Yeah.
So yeah. I like the relationship, how it sort of revealed itself over the show.
Mhm.
When it first starts, you're kind of like, you know what, dude, your mom's making you fucking breakfast and she's fucking like kind of cool. Yeah, she sucks, but you know, you're kind of being a little bitch about it. And then like as it goes on, you go like, oh, maybe it's a little bit. And then like in this one, you're like, oh, she's fucking going through a spank bank right now. Like she's like she does. She goes through his personal things. His personal things. What do you think he has in there? I think he's
He's got-
drawing fan fiction of him and blonde lady. Like
Deidre?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, fascist fucking
Mhm.
whatever
He's
that
He's
entails.
jacking off to pictures of Tarkin, you know.
So I call it my Tark Park. So I'm gonna walk the dog at the Tark Park.
Oh, and did you see in this episode Masameda?
Was he in there?
No.
Oh, okay.
That was a joke. That was
I was
He ain't showing
I was
up.
actually thinking that he was going to be in there, but
Yeah,
I
there's
thought-
no
during the
fucking
Senate
way.
scene,
There's
I
somebody
know.
sitting in that fucking pod, but it ain't him and it ain't Palpatine. I mean, there's somebody standing there.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to be able to blow that up and see. But yeah, it's like I looked and I'm like, there's just some dude.
I felt bad for Mon
It's
Mothma.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they're, you know, especially during that whole scene, like everyone was just kind of dissing her, like
She's the Ralph Nader of Star Wars, basically, right now.
Well,
Sitting there bitching in the morning, everybody's like, "Shut up, go away."
if you compare like the sound design in those sequences, you'll see like in the Phantom Menace, we're to believe that it's become inept. It's not working anymore.
Mhm.
And that's what's making them sort of prime for somebody like Palpatine to come in. He kind of set it up, everything. It's always Palpatine.
Mhm.
But when you listen to the sound, and you know, Masabita comes out saying order, but you listen to like that roar, that's not there. It's like fucking some people booing. And it's not bad sound design. I think it's purposeful. I think they could have just went to that. They own that original sound. They could just bring all that back in and make the big roar if they wanted to. But nobody's there, and the people who are there are just fucking assholes. It's just completely. It's a show. It's a shit show. The Senate doesn't even really do anything or really exist anymore, and it's performative at best. I would say. I mean, that's obviously why she decided to go and become a revolutionary in this instance. But I did notice that like in the sound, I think it was very deliberate. I'm assuming it was.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder where they go with this though in the future.
Mhm.
Because especially like post Return of the Jedi.
But what?
Post Return of the Jedi.
Mhm.
If they all of a sudden because obviously the Senate comes back at some point in the New Republic and all that stuff. What the fuck changes?
Well, they don't. Well, they don't put it
Palpatine
on.
wasn't voting these guys in if they're voted
No.
if they're elected in. So
Yeah.
you're basically saying you have horrible people in the galaxy electing horrible people to run the show.
Yeah. Well, the 30 years later, we know that it does pretty much end up right back there.
Yeah.
I mean, we have during as the First Order is rising, we end up with these people who miss being an aristocrat
So
during the Empire.
So the moral of the story is that the Emperor had it right and fascism rules because democracy fails every time.
So might as well just suck it up.
Yeah.
Just go with
suck
it,
it up,
man.
Buttercup.
Just fucking deal with it, dude. No. Yeah. I mean, that's I was making a joke about it, but it does kind of suck right now when you think about Hosni and Prime. Mom Mothma is there, right? I believe she's there. She gets blowed up.
Well, it's not canon
What?
that she's there.
I think it is canon that she's there.
She's not in the movie. So I'm with
She's
Robin.
not-
I'm Team
tell-
Robin this one.
Hey,
if
hey.
it didn't happen in the movie, they don't give a shit.
She's not in
They
the
wanna-
fucking. She's not in the fucking Resistance either, though, is she? So I'm
Well,
going to say she's there.
if they want to put her in something post episode 9, she's going to show up.
Nah, I mean, at that point, she's fucking like old as dirt.
100
Like
years
you
old,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah. So it's like it's
Right.
but point being is we see Mon Moth. I mean, and it's one of those things where you're like, of course, the fight is worth the fight. The fight's never ending. You always need to be fighting against fascism. Sometimes it's just worse than other times. That just is what it is. But you know, when as you're watching the story, that you go, well, yeah, the fourth Death Star got you, or whatever. It's the third
Well,
Death Star.
that's where I mean, to me, if Episode 9 fails anywhere to wrap the shit up, well, really the whole sequel trilogy in general, is
Mhm.
that you set up this scenario where you wipe out an entire government, and Episode 9 does nothing to resolve any of that shit. Where if
No.
you're gonna wrap a bow on this thing, you really have to be like, you know, yay, democracy's restored, you know, the republic's back, we've learned our lesson, and there's some kind of takeaway there. But as it stands right now, as a fan of Episode 9, it's
Yeah.
like, well, everything's still in shit. We tried democracy again, it failed once more. I mean, at some point, it just becomes like it makes it look like just banging your head against a wall. They need to wrap that up sometime.
Oh, but that's so much fun.
Well, I mean, it makes for a good story, I guess, in that, you know, it's setting lawless, chaotic times. But in terms of any kind of moral of the story, there's nothing there. It's just,
Yeah. Well, I mean, the truth is, I don't think the Star Wars fandom at large, even though they don't realize it, they don't want that rebuilding the Republic story. I don't think they actually want it. In reality, you know, it's more fun when things are falling apart and then they're just trying to keep things together, you know, and it's Star Wars, so it never getting to stability isn't really the goal here, I don't think. But
yeah.
anyways, I just it crosses my mind every now and then when as I'm watching this show, we're like, all of this is for something, and like, well, I guess they do get, you know, 30 years of being cool. Do you think we're gonna get cousin Mothma Vel like just out there doing like space cocaine and, you know, big and chicks and just fucking, you know, going full fucking rich party girl? You think we're gonna get that episode?
She's gonna, Paris Hilton next episode. That's her
Because
lifestyle.
I want the soundtrack to that one. I think it's
You
gonna be
know,
fucking
DJ?
cool. Mm-hmm. The music is fucking cool. The music has moved into a very fun synth. I won't call it synth pop, but it's just the synth score is fucking
I love it.
neat.
I really love it.
Yeah, it's very dystopian sci-fi.
Mhm.
Not at all like anything we got before.
Neat?
Yeah,
Let's say neat.
neat.
I haven't listened to the soundtrack of THX in a while, but I imagine it's probably
Isn't it just like
that same
fucking
kind
background? Isn't it
yeah,
just like
background.
and shit?
I'm sure there's probably just some like stuff that's just like one note, just like burr, burr, like that kind of like weird.
That
dystopian
sounded like a
kinda-
fart to me.
Mm,
Maybe it was.
yeah.
You're so gross.
And so can somebody explain to me the torture device on her head, the Alobot thing? Like
Well,
is it
I
just
think
playing sad
listening-
things, or is it
no,
playing
it's the
like
sounds of the children dying.
yeah,
That's fucking sad.
I know, but
That's crazy.
eventually, I mean, like okay, oh, you ever heard that fucking Lou Reed album, the Germany one?
I don't think
It has he recorded these kids who are left outside, neglected in the hallway, and they're crying because their parents are assholes. And he has the kids crying on the record.
Mm.
I'm gonna be honest with you, hit you in the right mood. Alligator tears. Eventually, like you know, he's kind of into it. You know, kind of jamming out to the kids crying. Eventually,
Right.
no. I mean, I'm joking, but I was like, I just wasn't sure if I was missing something. Like, was there something like that? You know, that you was there something to it? Like that is like actually like painful to humans to hear beyond the sadness of it. You know, I just wasn't sure because like they obviously don't let us see it. They just let us see the reaction, which was smart because you can't really do the sci-fi idea if it's supposed to be this weird harmonization that brings great sorrow, or is it? Yeah, I just wasn't sure what was going on with that.
There's got to be more to it than that because it's not like they brought some AirPods and then stuck it in their ears. It's a full on like fucking Dr. or Professor Xavier helmet that they keep in a briefcase.
Yeah, yeah. It was
So it
like the
wasn't just
Lobot
like
thing,
here.
kind of. It was like
Yeah,
the early
right.
version of the Lobot thing to some extent.
Yeah, Lobot's a fucking dick. He just listens to that all day, probably. Then.
Oh yeah, no, Lobot's metal as fuck. That's what I was gonna say. Biggs might be like, I like metal, motherfucker, and she's like, cool, like I'm into it. ICP, you know.
Lobot's like, what? Is there something I should be reacting to?
I mean,
Can you imagine
Biggs,
if she's no, this,
yeah,
I'm just
she might
kidding.
be a space juggalo. We don't know.
No,
we
she
just don't
starts
know.
laughing.
Padme, space juggalo. Discuss.
Uh,
That would have been fucked up if Vic starts laughing.
Yeah. I know. Jedi Mike says, like the creature torturing Bodhi Rook. Yeah, I thought for a second it might have been like a Borgullet thing. I thought at first I
Yeah.
thought they were kind of going there. I do think there was definitely some Borgullet motifs on the mind when they were kind of coming up with it.
That was weird.
well,
Yeah.
it's interesting. Who was I reading an interview with? I think it was it Toby Haynes, one of the directors that
Mhm.
that did an interview, and they talked about like, you know, in terms of like budgeting and when they got the script and what they could realistically do and what they couldn't do. So hey, you know, maybe in the original script they had that, and they're like, yeah, that's gonna cost a shit ton of money. Just have a
Yeah.
headset and put it on our head. Could
Yeah.
have been.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's totally possible.
Mhm.
And then so we also had Cassian opening up a panel in his room and hitting the pipe.
Yeah. Well, he was trying to
So
saw through it. He's pulling a Shawshank
oh
there.
sorry, that's what I meant to.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. He has this little shank and he's like sawing through it. And what I think he's doing is, if you remember the spoiler report that I had, it's set. We thought the floor being wet was what allowed them to shock him, but we know now they don't need the floor to be wet to shock him. I'm thinking that he's trying to break the pipe to flood the floor, and then it doesn't have enough power, enough juice to incapacitate them with the shock. Maybe they just feel a little bit of tingling on the nuts, but that's it. You know what I mean? Just a little ooh, but not enough to like throw you on the floor. You could still escape,
Well, if they were smart, they would just pump that through the floor all the time. Nobody would want to leave.
Not enough.
right? Like yeah. I mean that's what I believe Toby Haynes added to the script. He said, "I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut." And that was how the episode originally ended. but it's fine. Nick, I'm absolutely sick to death of this show being so damn good. Hey, man, I want to go to the sets. That's what I want to do. I want to go to those sets. I want to see it for myself, my own two eyes.
See it for your
Like
own selfie.
Anakin looking at his weirdo son for the first time, you know? But yeah, I mean this episode not really like a ton to necessarily to like pull apart and like discuss, because it's all, I think, pretty bold.
Mhm.
I mean, like the questions I have is she gonna go party? Are they gonna show that? They might. I mean, they really don't have to, but they could. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
And
The surprising thing, no Luthen this episode. He's
because
MIA.
the noose is going around Luthen's neck right now.
Hmm.
Right now, Luthen is like this close to losing his business. And I think everybody's. I think that's what's that's what's about to happen. I mean, the woman who sets up the radio link on Ferrix is Clea. I mean, I believe that to be Clea who they're mentioning.
Gotcha.
No, yeah, but it's Clea, and then we got more revealed in that they did pick Ferrix. They knew Ferrix because of its, what do they call it? Commercial. I don't know if they said commercial viability, but they said something like that. Basically, like they knew that this was the place to fucking hit and to fuck with. And she even says this was the big thing. The guy who was tortured only talked to him one time, and then was moved to Biggs. He was targeting Andor the whole time. He didn't care about any of that. Like, he didn't care. The whole thing was to get to Andor. I think I don't know if he picked him out. I don't know if there's a backstory with the sister. I don't know if he just looked at through the records and like figured this is the guy. But it sounds
No.
like he picked, to me it sounds like he picked Cassian out from, that was his plan the whole time.
Yeah,
Was to get
well,
to Cassian.
I have to assume that he has some kind of ties to Marva and Clem.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously, when they found Cassian, they probably weren't just the only two operating together.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's probably other people in their network, and Luthen was probably one of them. And so that way he would know Cassian or know of Cassian. And so that's probably why he's probably checking out Ferrex, because he knows he has ties with Marva and them to the planet.
So to riff on that, do you think maybe Luthen helped solidify the fake identity of Cassian
Yep.
through the black markets and maybe in a more chill time?
And that's why he knew Clem was hung in the square. That's why he knew that he wasn't really from Fest. Yeah.
Yeah.
All that stuff. It all makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Mhm.
It does. Yeah, I could see that being the case, because it does, like, you do get the impression, like when you look at what he's dealing with, what he's actually pulling off, Bix isn't really giving him anything that he needs or wants. What they're stealing off of he Luthen even down talks what they take from the ships and their little thing. He totally belittles it, and I do think he was sincere in that. And when you look at everything that happens after, yeah, that's like fucking small time, nothing stuff, nothing to him. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he is like thinking back to everything that he has, and that's how he puts it together about somebody who he might want to enlist.
Yeah. And even when they find Cassian, they're on that ship. You have to assume, because they're getting something off of that ship. They either shot that down or knew it was shot down to go there and get something, and then presumably sell that something to someone. And that someone was probably Luthen.
Yeah, my assumption has been that Luthen was a businessman that skirted the law and ethics the entire time, and it wasn't until imperialism really got ramped up and he saw what it was doing that he started to do the right thing. But it's not clear if, I mean, well, I think it is pretty clear that he's like Saw Gerrera. Bell Organa and Mon Mothma are idealist and very ethical. Their ethics guides their hand more than not. I mean, she's even like, she's fucking like, when you're watching it and they're talking about bringing in the fixer guy, she's like not happy about it, but you know, what other fucking option do you have? Like, you have to do that. But she's like it's not good to her. And then, but we know like Luthen would be like pragmatic about it. And then we know that Saw Gerrera, he's just fucking a maniac though. He's just like, they call him an anarchist, which is what he is.
He's an archaeologist.
An archaeologist. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am an archaeologist. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and you have to assume that
Indy. Sorry.
Marva and Clem probably, because it didn't seem like they were active on Ferrex. So they're just there, like, living their lives, chilling out. And then, at some point, maybe they're dealing with stuff, but then they get out and they refer Luthen to Tracksuit Mafia guy, and he takes over from there.
Maybe Boba Fett.
Hey, we're out of the business, but we got this other guy on Ferrex. He's your new point of contact.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
But man, it's gonna be hard when we find out what Amar Akbar was up to.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm just joking, but everybody has this like really dark, like sordid, like side life that we're learning. Imagine this show, but with Amar Akbar. They're watching us everywhere. Just like he's like doing horrible shit.
Well, that ballet scene from Revenge of the Sith, that was actually Admiral Akbar performing in that ballet.
No, it wasn't. It was
to
his
give it
sister.
up. He didn't know. He know it was him.
Oh, it was him.
It was his Jack performance.
Exactly. Yeah. He was the David Bowie of his time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Fishman. So Fry says Luthen is somehow secretly Mace Windu. Boom. I win Making Star Wars. Now, all jokes aside, somebody asked Star Wars Meg, where's Amada? Haven't seen him yet. Not a blue man in sight. Yeah, I know. Hopefully he comes. Hopefully he shows up. I mean, I don't think we're.
No way.
I don't
100%
think
no way.
you say no way. I'm
saying 100%
not.
no way.
I'm not counting him out yet.
If he was going to show up in the show, he would have showed up by now.
How do you know that?
I think we're gonna have a culmination though. Like,
I mean, yeah.
check it out.
Shit.
We had the sort of the hands go around the throat of these communities based off of the robbery.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got to go bigger than the robbery for the end, I would think. And
No.
I think it's going to. I personally think it's going to be the insurrection on Ferrix is going to be the end, and I think it's going to close down Ferrix. I think it's going to be bad for Ferrix in the end. But what I'm saying is, I would not be surprised if at the end of the season we do see the Senate convene and hear this isn't like people just whooping and being. I think this is going to be like a. I think they're. I'm not saying I think Palpatine's going to show up or anything like that. I mean, but I would not be surprised if we had a culmination to these Senate moments, and then where we know that, like, you know, in Rebels she does quit. I don't think that they're going to want to retrace any of that, but I think what we might see is the real moment she comes to know she's going to do what she does, and there's I think the one way of getting at that is to show us exactly what has happened and what has transpired, and then that might lead to the those people.
I disagree entirely, just because I think Tony Gilroy
Mhm.
wouldn't want to do that. And this is one of the things I was critical with Mando season 2, because everybody was talking about how awesome it was that Luke came back, that final episode. If you are going to end your season with a major cameo like the Emperor coming in, and I think the Emperor is more likely than Masameda to come in. If you're going to do that, you're going to steal the thunder of your main character in your show, just like Mando did. And everybody's like, no, that's not true. Yeah, it's absolutely 100% true. If they would have done the Luke cameo on that first episode with the Crate Dragon, like, oh, wow, Luke showed up. This is awesome. And then you get on with it, and then people are talking about your show. I think Gilroy's very aware of the fact that you will self-sabotage Andor by throwing in some bullshit at the very last episode.
That's no. I mean, I don't think they should do anything like that. I could see a culmination in the Senate showing up, and that's why I think you play Palpatine as aloof about everything. He's maybe angry or whatever, but you know what I mean. And then Masameda is the guy who shows up.
Well, if you're going to pull Palpatine out, you pull him out in this episode. You pull him out in this Senate session. You don't pull him out last episode and make it like, oh my God, it's, you know, da da da.
I'm imagining.
Get it out.
I'm imagining. I'm obviously self-directing in my brain right now, which is not fair, right? But I'm imagining, you know, Godfather. You got the people in the church, they're christening the child, and then everybody's getting killed on the sides. That's kind of what I'm imagining for the end of the show, the equivalent of that, and that's where I see that kind of stuff happening. But also we should also be prepared that it's really, when you get down to it, a 24 episode show, and it might not have a big culmination. It might not. It might just end on, well, that's how Tuesday ended, and then we got to get to the next season, and then we start getting into the big stuff. The big, you know, we get year to year after on season 2, it's year to year for a couple of years. So each arc is like a year, and so it's possible.
How many more episodes do we have of this?
That was 9. We got 3 more. We got basically 1 more part, which is the culmination of the prison arc, and then we got 2 episodes that are the ending of the season.
Okay.
And just this is all a guess. Bespin Bulletin had a picture of Melchi and Cassian on that beach planet, and is like handing him a bag and a gun. So my guess is that the prison break happens, breaks Melchi out, and is like, you should come with me. And they're like, yeah, maybe, or something like that. Because that gives them, here's stuff to go survive. But I think they might go back to the beach planet to get Cassian's ship.
I think they go get his money.
His money and you think his money has just been cooled up in that thing the whole time? Like, it gets the same room and it's still there, maybe?
Yeah,
It's possible. It's possible.
You think he would have hit it better, But
Yeah,
but
I mean, it was
think,
kind of thing, but yeah.
about the shower. Yeah.
10, 11, 12. Okay, so I'm gonna be in Turkey after it ends.
What? You can't go.
I
You gotta
can't.
cancel. You gotta
Fuck
cancel.
that. No,
what
it's
time-
no, no. There, we'll be finished with the show.
What time will
Oh,
it be in
okay.
Turkey there?
Huh?
What time will it be in Turkey?
No,
let's talk Turkey.
The show's gonna be finished. I leave on the 29th.
You live on the 29th? Okay, but still, let's talk Turkey right now. What time will it be?
Right now,
Yeah, what time is it right now in Turkey?
11.
She's nuts.
No,
You're
it's
not
11 or 12.
Oh, you don't even know. Are you serious about Turkey?
Fake
Yeah.
fan.
No, I'm kidding.
Fake fan. Fuck me. I mean, shut up. Sorry.
We don't want to make people in the chat jealous.
No.
Oh.
It would be kind of rad though if we're like Max, like live from Istanbul, and we have like the background though, and it's just like the screen, with like some background, like how they do on CNN when they do like the fake backdrops.
I'll be able to do a show like during the week.
Yeah.
And y'all can see the background. Yeah.
I'm doing it from Coruscant. I mean,
yeah, he's on Coruscant.
Yeah.
Huh?
What's on the Jedi Temple? What is that? A Netflix logo?
no, it's a
Halloween.
Spirit Halloween.
It's pretty good.
I had
Halloween
Yavin
was
Base
so
last time, so-
yesterday.
Mm.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't have time to change my background. I had to scramble on. That was too
Yeah.
quick.
But next week we're gonna have. I think next week is gonna be exciting because they're gonna start fucking shit up. You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely. Next week is going to be like the Eldani, breakout.
Yeah. I mean we have that excellent shot from the TV spots where you see like Cassian like bash the door, like he breaks the thing and it explodes.
Mhm.
That's not the pipe he's been cutting, is it? It explodes. I doubt it.
But didn't we get a
So-
shot of Luthen on that planet? Like, or is that just? Oh no, that's just cut weird. Because I guess it shows him looking through the binoculars, but that was we already saw that shot in Ferrix.
Yeah.
Somehow I
and-
conflated those two.
Yeah, there was like for like a time I wasn't sure if the speeder bike scene with Luthen and Cassian was there or not too. I just wasn't positive. You know what I mean? If that shot of them where they ride out together. But yeah, but the buyer stuff. I think like it's gonna. I think the season, if not the next episode or two, is gonna have everything come down on Luthen. And like the question that I have is Luthen's story ultimately going to be about a guy with an antique store who started this thing and made Ferrix get hot and erupt into not civil disobedience, just disobedience, and then gets caught and dies, and that's the end of his story. But he started the fire that leads to what's coming.
So
or
he's Billy Joel.
He's Billy Joel.
Yeah.
He's JFK blown away. What
Wait, no,
else
wait.
do we have to say?
Wait, Billy Joel didn't start the fire, so he's not.
No,
Billy
he
Joel.
he didn't do it. He didn't do it.
Who sings that
It-
song?
Billy
We don't
Joel.
know. It's been lost to time.
Yeah.
No, it's been lost to time.
Is it Billy Joel?
I think it's Joe Yowza.
I think it's Joey Lawrence from Blossom, TV's Blossom.
Whoa.
Yeah, that guy.
We all did it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Or are we gonna have him being like, "This is my friend General Dan Dodonna"? Like, are we gonna go there, or do we have him? Because I am kind of getting, I'm sort of seeing like a disconnect between the Dodonna, Bel Organa, Mon Mothma. Luthen doesn't fit in there. Neither does Saw Gerrera. And then Saw Gerrera and Luthen don't mesh either. So, and we know that there's not the alliance. There's not really unity there at Rogue One.
Yeah.
There's all these, but none of them give the air of being a Luthen type. Like, hey, I'm the cool professor who has the drugs, the LSD. None of them are that guy in that
Yeah.
group, you know. So,
Well, the Dodonna types would be the expatriates. They'd be like
Mhm.
a George Washington. They're actual military leaders that defected from the Empire or were part
No,
of the Republic.
no,
Well, like
he's from
Yularen.
he's from Dodonna's refrigeration, the refrigeration planet. He runs the
Oh,
whole
shit.
thing. Yeah, that's
that makes
his whole
sense.
thing.
The beard
Him and his
now.
wife
Well,
Ethel. Yeah,
that's why he wears the long coat.
Ethel Dodonna. Her name is Donna Dodonna.
That's
Oh,
Madonna
no, it
Donna.
sucks.
She's from Taco Donna. Donna Dodonna from Taco Donna. She's a slut.
Madonna Donna.
Yeah, she's out there like watering the grass in her panties, and everybody's
Yeah.
looking at her like, I kind of like this, but why are you doing that?
Yeah, her cousin Rosanna Dana.
Yeah, take off your panties, shit on the floor. Oh, sorry, I like that song. What do you call it? Anyways, what I was gonna say was, yeah. So I mean, in a way, I really don't want Luthen to die. I like him. I like the character.
Mhm.
It's fun. He's a son of a bitch. Fucking, I don't want it to end. But man, that is also a pretty good place to leave the character, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like you just learned that like it didn't work out. He doesn't live to see it, but
I
but
don't see him dying.
yeah, you don't see him
I don't-
dying.
Well, here's the thing.
Not
You
yet.
have to, if you draw this to its conclusion, where we end up in Rogue One, where you see a bunch of senators and obviously some expatriates and stuff, and they're all kind of congregating together, and political leaders like Mon Mothma, and they're all in the same room together on Yavin base. They're talking about what they're going to do and whatnot. I don't think
Yeah.
anybody's there if shit goes south
Mhm.
prior to those events. There's obviously at that point enough momentum that they felt like there was low risk. But I think if there's like a heavy loss in this show, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why are those people there? Because obviously you had people that were willing to dip at the first sign of trouble
Yeah.
in Rogue One. They're like, oh, it's done. They got this new weapon. We're fucking out of here. And so, I mean, if they're that skirmish or skittish about, things going wrong, then they wouldn't fucking stick around for that shit. Luthen died.
Yeah.
Get caught in the trap. So, yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I hope Luthen's around for season 2. But
Yeah.
I'm not
I think
really
he will be.
hopeful. I'm not hopeful. I'm actually, it's not what I want, but it's what I think. I think he's gonna get caught, and I think we might at the end of this season have his execution.
You
And
think?
because that ups the stakes for everybody involved, Mon Mothma included. He won't have that shop at the very
Yeah.
least. He's gonna get found out. He's about
I
to
think-
get found out.
I think-
The way you cut it, he's gonna get cut. He's about to be exposed any episode.
I think Marva is going to be the one that kind of sets it off. I think she gets killed.
For sure.
And then
Right.
Cassian that's where he's all in. They
Mhm.
take out Marva, and he's like, "Fuck these guys! I'm gonna do whatever it takes to take these fuckers down."
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's obviously the fucking show's named after him, so I mean,
It is?
well, actually, no, because the show's called Andor. So
Mm-hmm.
as of yet, we have yet to meet the main character. He's
Mhm.
still
I thought it was
somewhere in the
Andor.
shadows.
I thought it was Andor.
That's from Avatar.
Maybe the shows will be retitled Lucky Luthen. He's like, I'm ever so lucky. Nobody could catch me. I don't think so. I think he's gonna die. No, I don't know though. The whole like Mon Mothma thing, we're gonna see them getting in bed with the criminals. And then
Literally?
Yes.
well,
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. Take one for the team.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's possible.
I'll do it.
Hey, Cassian says we've all done terrible things for the Empire or for the rebellion, and now you know what he was talking
kidding.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking Susie.
whatever it takes.
I predict the end of the show, most people Andor knows and Meats will die. I feel like Luthen is getting whacked this season, unfortunately. Yeah, that's where that's where I mean, like when you get down to it, like he's a shit starter and he started the shit, right? But is Luthen the kind of guy who could follow through? Can Luthen manage? Like, I mean, he's trying to kill him. He's not even trying to manage people. He's trying to kill people he can't manage. You know, that he's like afraid of shit getting out and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I at the same time, I mean, they're supposed to try to kill Cassian too.
Mm-hmm.
So that has to be dealt with at some point where he realizes that my own quote people, supposedly the people I'm working for, are trying to kill me. So I wonder if Cassian ends up throwing him under. Does Cassian end up kind of getting him?
Selling him out.
Yeah, and getting back in at the same. When I say selling him out, I don't mean like, is Tarkin? Yeah, I know where he's at. No, I don't mean like that. I just mean like where he does something a
What
little
was
bit.
that accent?
It's
I'm
just,
curious.
I don't know. That was my Cassian accent when he's selling people out and he doesn't want to be like.
For a second I thought you were Latino. I was like, God damn.
No,
that's the
this is
best.
totally not Cassian Andor. No, it's not me. No, no. No. What I'm trying to
I
say
saw
is like,
Taco Bell dog when you did that. That's
no, like he might have a, like I said, a way of like alleviating something and then throwing him under, getting him, or some switcheroo. I don't know.
Well, and also, we know that Mon Moth was in the Senate for like another 3 years because you said it's not until 2 BBY that Rebels happens and she's like, leaving and making her little speech. So
Yeah.
that being the case, okay, well, so we're 3 years out from that. So if Luthen falls, I don't think she sticks around because she even said, I'm the first one to take the fall. So if all of a sudden Luthen goes down and Mon Mothma knows about it, she'd be like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
When
She's
Luthen falls, though, that's when they start getting even closer to her.
But
they don't have her yet, but they start looking at who was visiting his shop and stuff like that. But
I think she's either would be scared shitless to continue once Luthen gets caught, or
but
isn't that she's gonna get caught and she dips out.
But what is the story function of Vel at this point, if not to keep Mon Mothma moving, right? And also because we can't kill Mon Mothma, I think Vel. I think that's sort of the other thing is that Vel is like the Mon Mothma family member that we could kill, who we like, we care about, like Perrin.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Mon Mothma is kind of tall and thin. What other Star Wars character is tall and thin? That's also
Jar Jar.
That wears a robe. Snoke.
The guy from Utapau.
So maybe Snoke is actually a clone of Mon Mothma.
Yeah. Maybe the cloners take that one guy's DNA from the prison and mix it with Mon Mothma.
Yeah, he's like the Serpentor of Star Wars.
And then they put them together. Like he's like the snake DNA and she's like the body. And then they turn that into Snoke. I think you're onto something. I think you just cracked it.
Yep.
Jeez.
Boom. Take that, Mike Zero.
But well, anybody else? We did it. I think we did it. I think we did this episode. I don't know if there's anything else. Any Max? You got anything you want to say? You got anything on your mind before we go?
No KD updates.
Oh, Mohawk's better.
Mohawk's good.
Yeah, but he's got to eat. He has to be eat prescribed food.
Yeah,
so that sucks.
He's
It's just because now he's prone to
kyber crystals.
Crystals, yeah.
Kyber crystals.
Mm-hmm.
He gets little lightsaber turds that shoot out his butt.
No, that's no peen.
Oh, he pees lightsabers.
No, the crystals come out of his urine.
Yeah.
So he's
Have you tried putting one into a lightsaber to see if it powers it?
what?
Yeah.
Have you tried taking one of his crystals from his pee to put it in light a lightsaber to see if it can power it?
That's so
Yeah. Simple
stupid.
question.
Hey, hey,
Haven't you seen Laser Cats?
take it up with George Lucas if you got a fucking problem with it, because that's where he got
I
the
do.
idea. You know that that's how they got on
I'm
Jeddah,
gonna write
right?
to his supervisor.
A bunch of kitties. Like there's actually a city on Jeddah called Kitty City,
Mhm.
and all of the cat urine runs out into the core of the planet, and that's what
Ugh.
makes the crystals.
Gross.
Kitty City.
Disgusting.
Yeah. But
There you go.
well, we have to pray that the series ends on time, because Max will go to Turkey if we don't. It's just be
No,
like, bye.
it will.
You're not going to be here for the Willow after shows?
The what?
Oh my God.
Willow.
Max,
Oh,
I
are
don't know
y'all
if we
gonna
can be friends now. You don't even know
Willow?
what Willow is?
I know what Willow is.
All right. You're like
Pussy
Willow.
Willow.
Who's Willow? What's Willow?
Pussy Willow.
It's a character on Buffy.
Yeah.
Look at him right there.
Cool
Look at him.
beans. Yeah,
Look
I
at him
know.
right there on the
When
wall.
when do those shows start?
Thank you, guys. That starts in late November.
Oh, are you gonna do a review?
Fuck yeah, I am.
Say that again.
We're going to have like 2.
Fuck yeah,
reviews.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm gonna every episode I'm gonna give it either an uff good or uff bad.
Mm,
Either uff good or uff bav morta.
Yeah.
Mm.
Bad mortar. Or an
Bad morta, uff good.
Yeah, there you
We have
Yeah,
a rating
actu-
system
go.
set up.
I leave on the 29th, so that's on a Tuesday.
Better get over that jet lag,
Hmm?
because it's Willow time. No, I'm
Mhm.
kidding. Max is like, I think Max is going to be having too much fun. How long are you going to be in Turkey for? Do you have
A
decided yet?
week. A week. Actually, I'm going for my friend's. She's having a medical procedure, and she's never been to Turkey before. She's asked a couple of people, and she kept asking me to go, and I was like, I can't. And then she's like, please, I'll pay for your ticket. And I said, don't tempt me. She's like, I'm
Yeah.
serious.
Did she tell her I would go if she paid for my ticket?
So in the first few days, I'm actually going to be with her, just turning to her, see if she needs anything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then after
Adding
that, then
adding a little bit more medicine so she goes to sleep and going out and having a good time. I get it. Just
Time for
no,
the
I
night
don't no, but yeah, we keep talking about it, so
yeah,
we're excited.
that's cool. I mean, I know you love Turkey.
I do.
Not only the dinner, but the place.
though. Mhm.
And so I was excited that you get to go back. I remember during like the height of the pandemic how bummed you were that you
Yeah.
couldn't like
Yeah.
go anywhere.
Is there a town named Jive somewhere?
There
should be.
of course.
That's
Someone
actually
should
Max's.
be.
That's
Jive
actually Max's name. They
Jive
call
Turkey.
it they call her Jive. Yeah.
Jive turkey. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid.
That's why we're here.
Yep. Well, all right, James. Did you have anything to add before we go?
I had
Have we
nothing
said it
to
all?
add.
Okay.
No, not
No,
at this point.
I think we did. I think we said it all. I do
did.
think we said it.
And
So
that's-
I'll be back tomorrow at noon Pacific Standard Time. Actually, like I'm gonna watch it again. I'm actually gonna like review it. Make my little notes, little notes, and I'll be here with Rob and somebody. Who was it? Somebody was. I think it was Junior. Junior was like laying out Rob's programs. I think.
Avatar
right here.
Fridays. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tomorrow there's I think there's like an Avatar trailer coming tomorrow. So I think we'll be talking about Avatar tomorrow for a bit.
Hey, he's
So-
got it. Yeah.
And Luthen got himself one of those jitterbug phones. No shit, Chris. I took my daughter to get ice cream tonight, and there was like the jitterbug phone was there, and I've wanted to make jitterbug jokes for like a long time for various reasons, and I couldn't remember what it was called. And I saw it, I was like, yeah, jitterbug.
What is that?
It's like the phone for old people. It's like the smartphone for idiots.
Oh.
Yeah, when
The dumb
you're too fucking stupid to understand basic concepts about smartphones, jitterbug's there for you.
Oh. Okay.
All right. Well, anyways,
And then
Thank you for staying up with us, Max. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Always nice to hang out with you. And you too, Chickadee James. And we'll be back tomorrow talking about Star Wars stuff. And obviously, if you guys ever want to talk about anything at Star Wars at a different time, that's not 3 a.m, you're always welcome. I love hanging out with you guys.
Cool.
But we'll be back tomorrow. And I hope everyone had a good night and enjoyed the show. And make sure you like the video, be a channel member if you like supporting the channel, and you can. It's always appreciated. If you can't, that's cool too. But see everybody
not
tomorrow.
cool. If you're broke,
You know
don't
what?
show up.
You know what? Fuck. You know what? Fuck. You know what? Fuck you. You little fucking parent. You know what? You know what? If you don't support the show, you're a parent. You're apparently a dick.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go. It's not about spaceships.